What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Market closed roughly 10 minutes ago. I want to give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what shorts did, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did close slightly in the green, 0.58%, 1609 the high. So a new 52-week high was hit today. Didn't really last all that long. As soon as the market did open, you had that swift pullback. Wasn't just with SoFi, it was pretty much across the board. And then 1552 the low. 44.07 million shares being traded. 60 is the average. These are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market. So a lot of transactions, but you have a little bit more selling. And I think there's just a lot of grayness for this week. A lot of people don't necessarily know how the data is going to come on Wednesday. So I think that's just adding some uneasiness. I know that's not a real word. I like to make up words. But on a side note though, I think at the same time with the S&P hitting the kind of pivotal and very psychological 6,000 mark, that caused more of a retracement. So same happened when it hit 5,500. You had just randomly markets starting to sell off, analysts saying that it was too high. So yeah, I think that those were kind of the culprits for what happened with SoFi today. But aside from that, going back over here, no actual news or any SEC filings. So kind of just piggybacking off of the broader market. So let me know your thoughts on that. As far as what shorts did, they were kind of interesting. So they did end up increasing net 393,000 shares. 14.04% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 149.5 million shares overall are being shorted. So that broker, whatever broker is out there that's paying people to short SoFi, they're still back at it pretty much continuously since like a week and a bit now. So we'll just have to wait and see. So far, it's not really working out in their favor, clearly. But when it comes down to shorts, though, they surprisingly were returning quite a lot up until here. That's where they did kind of increase their position, roughly about 2.5 million shares. So by them increasing, that does add selling pressure. That was kind of the dagger that caused it to go down right here. So kind of interesting in that regard. Why they would be doing that, I'm not really sure. Maybe to break SoFi more on a technical level, at least in the short term. Quickly going over to IBKR on the 1-year chart. Things look a-okay, as I've been outlining to you over the last little bit. So it is above the ALMA, 5100, 200-day moving average, stochastic RSI, and MACD. So the only thing negative about this chart right now, I guess, is just the fact that it is overbought. So you could see an increase in volatility, but what I think they're trying to do is break it down on this. So on the 1-month chart, it is showing some signs of weakness, but I think that's once again kind of can be extended across the board, not just to SoFi, but to everything. One thing that I do want to bring up though, this has been still going down. So the average duration of shorts is 32.6. And so the last time I did give an update, it was at, I think, 36. So it is going lower and lower. So that's generally a positive sign, because if shorts have and hold their positions for a longer duration, they're a little bit more confident. So the fact that it is going down shows that, yeah, they're somewhat worried. Kind of late to the game in my opinion, but some people are slower in life than others. But aside from that, no new analyst ratings, nothing like that. So it's kind of the same old for that. So I'll keep on giving you updates if there's any changes for that. But moving over to options, 36 million in calls, 5.71 million in puts. So a lot of money was getting into SoFi. Just generally looking right down here, you can kind of see just the trend. So overall for the 25th, there was around 41 million in total premiums. That seems to be the norm nowadays, which is kind of crazy. Back in the day, it was like 10 million to 15 million was like epic. You can kind of even see right here how it just randomly jumped up on the 8th. Then the 11th was the record high, 107 million in total premiums that day. So absolute a lot of money getting into SoFi through options. And Whoever's been buying calls out there, whether it be retail or institutions, they have been making a ton of money. But one thing I do want to bring up, so between 205 and 210, there was 620,000 in premiums. So clearly not retail once again. And if we kind of look at this a little bit more detail, you see that there was one very bullish one, 115,000 for a premium, and someone did sell a $16 put. So I've kind of stated this time and time again that if you really do like a stock and you're going to be buying it regardless, one good way to do it is sell a put, because let's say it is below your strike price on expiry date. So in this case, it is December the 20th. So if it is below $16 on December the 20th, then they do buy those shares. If it stays above it, then you get to keep your premium. So it's kind of a win-win, at least how I see it. So this is very, very bullish if you ask me. But there is a lot of different transactions that was done, many of which are multi-leg ones. So I just wanted to bring that up. Based on the call options that were purchased today, you see a consensus for it to be above roughly around the $18, which is kind of what it was being portrayed as Thursday and Friday last week. So same level of optimism. Looking at the puts, you see a consensus now though for it to be sub 1450, and this one was very abnormal as well. So now you see just randomly for it to be sub $13 for December the 20th and December the 27th. So some entities are anticipating more of just a pullback. I don't think it's anything to do specific with SoFi. It probably would be due to the broader market, but you have a little bit more bearishness starting to pop up. And as of right now, with it at $15.70, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 1547 is going to be that next strong support. Kind of bounce off of that general area for the low today, and then 1573, 1589, and then 1614 are going to be the following resistance levels. So it kind of as well bounced off of this general R3 area. So just take note of those going forward into the next couple trading days. So tomorrow we do have the FOMC minutes. Historically, that's always resulted in the stock price going higher, but with the kind of week ending, like Thursday, the market's closed, Friday's closed at 1, and then you have GDP and PCE on Wednesday, the market might be very anxious, if that makes sense. So just anticipate a lot of volatility, but I think generally speaking, SoFi has made a lot of good progress over the last little bit. Just to go over this for 1 second. So over the last 1 month, up 39.65%. And over the last 6 months, up 127.72%. I've had a lot of people, even in just my comments, saying, hey, this is my first 100%er. And so, yeah, it's a exciting time. And in theory, based on the options, if we kind of go back over here, a lot of people are anticipating, looking at the calls, a lot of people are anticipating for it to kind of hit that $28 range as well. So there was 2,000 purchased at the $28 strike price for January 17th, 2025, and then so forth and so forth. So yeah, honestly, it could still go up quite a lot more from even these levels, but I think just the market needs for those data points to come out, feel reassured, and then up and at it, hopefully. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto, and they've been absolute bangers, home runs. Pop over there to take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.